At the heart of a chaotic, crumbling world is Cherry Darling, an exotic dancer who's tired of being a showpiece. That night, as the neon lights pulse at the Go-Go Club, tears slip down her cheeks on stage. After the show, her boss corners her backstage, berating her for crying. But Cherry has reached her limit. "I need a real change," she says, ripping off her heels, and quits on the spot. She storms out into the night, only to dodge military trucks roaring past. The close encounter sends her crashing into trash cans, leaving splinters embedded in her leg. In pain and exhausted, she finds her way to a rundown diner where she retreats to the restroom to tend to her wound. As Cherry nurses her injury in the restroom, a familiar figure walks in, Ray, a local mechanic with a complicated past. Ray and Cherry sit together at a corner booth, their conversation crackling with unspoken history. He notices that she's still wearing his old jacket, and they trade bittersweet jokes about old dreams, Cherry's plan to become a stand-up comedian. Despite the pain, the chemistry between them is undeniable. When Cherry asks for a ride home, Ray agrees, and they leave the diner together. Meanwhile, deep inside a military base, tensions rise. A scientist named Abby is furious that 3 specimens have gone missing. Threatening his panicked staff with grotesque punishment, Abby's mood sours further when Lieutenant Muldoon arrives. The lieutenant, wearing a gas mask, demands to know where the stuff is stored. Abby assures him it's all accounted for, but a sudden gunfight breaks out. Muldoon's troops kill Abby's men with brutal efficiency. As Muldoon removes his mask, his face begins to bubble and blister. Abby, in desperation, breaks open a gas canister filled with a toxic mist. Nearby soldiers dissolve into goo, but Muldoon and his men inhale the gas, grinning as the poison warps their bodies. Abby escapes in a Humvee, unaware that one of Muldoon's soldiers clings to the roof. The green mist begins spreading, seeping into the air and infecting anyone it touches. Back in town, Dr. William Block and Dr. Dakota Block begin their late-night shift at the hospital. Strange cases flood in, patients with rapid infections and gangrenous wounds. One patient named Joe arrives with a bite that has already spread to his tongue, a grotesque sign of how fast the disease works. Realizing the infection is unlike anything they've seen, the doctors rush to amputate Joe's arm. On the road nearby, Tammy's car breaks down again, this time near the military base. As she tries to flag down help, grotesque infected creatures, now known as sickos, emerge from the darkness and attack her savagely. Ray and Cherry pass by, seeing the chaos unfold in the distance. But when a sicko suddenly jumps in front of his truck, Ray swerves, losing control. The truck flips, throwing them both inside. Sickos descend upon Cherry, dragging her into the woods. Ray grabs his rifle and gives chase, but by the time he reaches her, it's too late. Her right leg has been torn off. Ray shoots at the creatures, but they refuse to die. He scoops Cherry up and rushes her to the hospital, knowing they're running out of time. At the hospital, chaos reigns as more infected patients arrive. Dr. Block confronts Ray, demanding answers, but their conversation is cut short when Sheriff Haig arrives, suspicious of Ray's involvement in the unfolding nightmare. Tension between the sheriff and Ray hints at dark secrets from Ray's past. As the infected overrun the hospital, Dakota finds Tammy's body, her grief intensified by their hidden relationship, and plans to escape together that night. When Dr. Block discovers the truth about Tammy, his jealousy erupts. In a rage, he paralyzes Dakota's hands by stabbing them with a syringe, rendering her helpless. Meanwhile, the dead bodies in the morgue vanish, leaving bloody trails leading into the shadows. Outside, the sickos attack the police station. Ray is arrested but breaks free when the station is overrun. After saving Sheriff Haig's life, Ray arms himself and heads back to the hospital to rescue Cherry. Inside the hospital, Cherry wakes, devastated by the loss of her leg. Ray improvises a crude prosthetic, and together, they escape the burning building. At JT's restaurant, survivors gather to make their final stand. Among them are Dakota, Sheriff Haig, and Ray, who is forced to confront his hidden past as a war veteran involved in the creation of the DC-2 virus. The group hatches a plan to escape to the military base, hoping to find answers and a way out. As they fight their way through hordes of sickos, Ray modifies Cherry's wooden leg into a weapon, a makeshift assault rifle. Cherry quickly proves her resilience, wielding her new leg gun with deadly precision. The survivors make it to the military base, only to be captured by Muldoon's soldiers. Muldoon, grotesquely disfigured from years of exposure to the gas, reveals the truth. The DC-2 virus was designed as a bioweapon to cleanse entire populations. Muldoon believes he holds the cure, but his mind is warped by the gas. In the chaos that follows, Cherry is forced to dance for the soldiers. But when one removes his gas mask, his face bubbles grotesquely. Seizing the moment, Cherry stabs him in the eye with her weaponized leg. Dakota regains control of her hands and finishes the soldier with a needle to his other eye. Ray and Abby arrive, killing the remaining soldiers. The group makes a final push to destroy the virus, but JT and Sheriff Haig are mortally wounded. With their dying breaths, they set off explosives, destroying the base and the remaining canisters of gas. In the aftermath, Cherry and the survivors escape in a helicopter. As Ray lies dying, she reveals she's pregnant, saying with a smirk, "Told you I never miss." Heartbroken but determined, Cherry promises to keep fighting. A year later, the survivors have built a new life along a remote Mexican beach. Cherry now leads a band of armed survivors, including Dakota and the mischievous crazy babysitter twins. With a machine gun leg and a fierce determination, Cherry defends her new family. When a sicko lunges at a child on the beach, Cherry blasts it away without hesitation. Holding her baby close, she smiles as the sun sets over the ocean. She knows the fight isn't over, but now, it's two against the world.